Tonight, we are going to be talking to a young man that I met a few months ago, but his profile is very rich because once you discover purpose, the next thing you should be doing is developing your talent towards activating and creating abundance. Bijan is an interdisciplinary fine artist, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. He graduated from the Georgia Institute of Technology and earned his MFA, that's Masters in Fine Arts at the Art Center College of Design. Bijan is the founder of We Uplift the World Foundation for Arts and Technology. He's going to be telling us a bit about that. Education, providing opportunities for young creatives globally. Bijan consistently creates from a state of abundance. I love that, as he maintains his thriving art and design practice in Los Angeles. But he's not limited to Los Angeles. He's touching lives, making impact, creating connections, generating income from every continent of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, can we give Bijan Mashan a round of applause as we welcome him to the head-to-head conversations. Bijan, how's it been?
I've been great. Thank you so much, Mr. Purpose. Wow,
so good.
That was quite an introduction.
Oh yeah, You're a big fish. You're a big fish in the ocean of possibilities. All right. So Bijan, before we get into the mainstream conversation, tell us about yourself generally. How was it like growing up? Where were you born? Let's start from where were you born? Were you born in the US or somewhere else in the Caribbean, in Africa? Where were you born?
I was born in Akron, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
It's a small town in kind of northeastern Ohio.
Okay.
It's a beautiful place, beautiful people, and I love it. And grew up when I was about 10 years old, moved from Akron to Columbus, Ohio. So been an Ohioan up until I went to college in Atlanta. So spent the first 18 years of my life there, but I was born in Akron, and that's actually the same city as LeBron James. Some people might have heard of LeBron James.
Bijan, you and I met sometime last year in Lagos, Nigeria, when you came as a guest facilitator for Del York Creative Academy. Was that your first time in Nigeria?
That was my first time. First time in Nigeria, not my first time in Africa. So I traveled a few times to Northern Africa, Morocco, but that was my first time in West Africa. It was my first time in Nigeria, and I absolutely love Legos. I actually got this top that I'm wearing. This was a gift from the Del York Creative Academy. So beautiful, hand-painted piece. I absolutely love it. They gave us some really amazing gifts. This is another gift that our students and friends made for us. If y'all can see this notebook, it's engraved. Okay, engraved notebook. Yeah. And it says, "We appreciate you for sharing your light so brightly on us, for shining your light so brightly on us. Other teachers teach, but you went the extra mile to make sure we were impacted abundantly. Because of your manifestations, our lives have been greatly enriched. Thank you, Coach. We love you. Bijan Machin." And it's got the logo here. It's got a picture of me. They made one for Lychee as well, my partner, who's also a teacher there at the Del York Creative Academy, for the fall session for digital marketing and PR. So really got a lot of love. It was an abundance of love exchange.
That was a gift from the students of the class that you took, the digital marketing PR class that you took.
Yes, we were instructors, and these were our gifts from our students that felt that they received a lot of great information and value by the end of the course. And, as they wrote, as the message said, the energy of abundance and the idea of being able to manifest what it is that is your true purpose, that energy and those ideas really resonated with everyone there. And I think it left a real positive impact. And I know that experience left a very positive impact on me. That was one of the most significantly positive experiences of my entire life. And I can't wait to go back.
Wow. So. Wow. Yeah, I remember the graduation ceremony, but because of time, I'll just skip that. I remember the graduation ceremony. All the students were so full of life, full of energy, and the ripple effect of your impactful contribution is still being felt today. You know, you were one of the instructors that my wife was in that class, and the moment she came home after the second day, she was just like, oh, wow. She calls me by my pet name, Noasita. Said, Noasita, you need to meet this guy. Two of you sound so much alike. I was like, okay, who's this man? Who's this guy? She was all over the room about the energy she came back home with had been multiplied. So thank you.
I'm so happy
thank
to
you
hear
for
that.
thank you for being who you are. Thank you for what you do. And from that day, I began to think of I conceived this that is happening tonight, and I believe there'll still be more opportunities for us to collaborate to impact our world from our spheres of influence. Now, I usually say to young Nigerian kids that you can start local, but you must think global. When you discover purpose and you discover your talent, you can start local, but you must think global. Don't just think to make impact on your street within the community where you were born. You must begin to see yourself as a global icon, despite the limitations or the challenges around you. And from your story, you were born in Atlanta, Ohio. So that leads me to
Akron, Ohio. Akron, Ohio, and then moved to Atlanta. I know there's a lot of A cities in there. Okay. So was born in Akron, Akron, and then I moved to Atlanta and went to Georgia Tech. That was the first place I went outside of Ohio when I kind of left home, as they say, went to college. So yeah, Akron, Ohio. Right. But
so you said it was a very small town.
It was a small town, and what I wanted to say real quick, you touched on a really important point. Thinking outside of where we are today and being able to visualize and see and believe in the possibility that we can experience something different than what we're experiencing today, that right there is the abundance mentality. That's a definition of thinking with the abundance mindset. So now, something that has to happen for that to occur is exposure. We have to have awareness of what is outside of us, outside of our immediate environment, let me say. Because I think a lot of people don't even know that there's more than what they have been exposed to. And I think right now is a very interesting time for people to think about how they want to reach people, because we have so much access, because we have the internet, because you and I are able to connect from halfway around the world and have other people connect right now. We need to think and be more intentional, and also be more optimistic about the possibilities for ourselves and us when we share our messages and what we want to do, because creating success for oneself is not the same, and it doesn't look like what it used to look like 20 years ago. Because of what we have today. So 20, 30, 40 years ago, things were much different. We had to take a different approach to work, life, success, happiness, fulfillment. I think now we still have to maintain a strong work ethic at all times, but we have to believe that more is possible for us than what we might have grown up being exposed to, used to, or have access to. Right? So that right there is very important, is knowing that there's other places I can go. There's other people I can talk to. There's always more. That is abundance.
Yeah. So that leads me to the very first question. How did you discover that you had this rare talent that has evolved into so much of what you do today? So how did your discovery happen?
It's a process. It's a journey.
Okay.
And it's a series of steps that were taken, and it's a series of steps that are still being taken. So the first thing is acknowledgement and awareness. Once upon a time in my life, over 10 years ago, I was the kind of person that believed that life was challenging and everything had to be a challenge to be overcome. And while I still believe that everything is earned, I didn't acknowledge and appreciate the things that were in my life every day that were completely free or that I was blessed with. And I had to come to a point in my life where some of those things weren't there to make me appreciate them more. I had to go through life to understand that we have the ability to create whatever we want. And there's so much just in the nature and the trees and having conversations with people that we might be missing out on if we're only focused on ourselves and what we can create for our life with a selfish focus or a singular focus. And that outlook on life can be very dark and grim after a while. And I decided that in my life, I only wanted to experience light. I've experienced dark days, I've experienced light. And while I acknowledge the darkness, I don't dwell in it. Mm-hmm. So I decided I wanted to be the type of person who makes myself first and then others feel good, positive, awesome, joyful, happy, reminds people of the fruits of the Spirit in the Bible. That's the energy that I seek to exude. And I'm a Christian just like you, and my goal is to try to be the way that Jesus was. Never be perfect, will never be as perfect as Jesus was. And Jesus also went through a process, right? So just understanding and appreciating the process and taking it every day and saying, God gave me everything I need today to create more for myself. Let me make a decision about what I want, who I am, and what I want to create for the world based on the gifts that God bestowed upon me and the exposure that I have, knowing that I can create more and I can always change things later. That is abundance. That wasn't always my thinking, so I had many experiences in my life where I had to redirect. I used to play football and thought that was going to be the only thing I did for the rest of my life. Experiences in life caused that to redirect. Significant injuries, things happen, opportunities, had great job opportunities, and just different things. There's all kind of factors that we can look at that allow us to choose the path we want to go on. And my thing is focusing on the gifts that God gave me and the place that I feel called to go to and making sure that's the priority in every one of my days, because that's when I feel the happiest, the most successful, the most fulfilled, and I feel the most light in my life instead of the dark days. And we can get into some of the things I do to do that, but that's the gist of it is that taking that acknowledgement and that being in situations that were, I feel like I wasn't called to be in, that weren't exactly perfect for what I wanted to do and how I wanted to impact the world, and knowing that I could appreciate those experiences and take them and move forward and create new experiences and have a lifestyle that I really love every aspect of, which I have right now. Very happy and grateful with every day.
Did you ever, as a young boy, did you ever have challenges with your self-esteem?
Absolutely.
At a certain time in your life, because you're such a more confident version of yourself now. You're more, you have several competencies now. The reason I ask this is there are several young people today who like to imitate people that they see that have a form of success, especially on social media. And what I say to them usually is imitation leads to limitation. Imitation leads to limitation. Rather than trying to imitate someone else in terms of their identity, you ought to discover your core self and then begin to develop that person, because the best you can be of another person is a photocopy of that individual. So for you, did you have a challenge with your self-esteem? And what were the practical steps that you took to develop the talent that you saw within yourself? Because what limits some people as well is they focus so much on the talent of another individual that is making them great, that's making them create abundance, and they ignore or never acknowledge the capacities that God has placed within them, or it's either they don't see it as big enough to create abundance because they think it's not Bijan's type of talent I have. So mine is just nobody's going to listen to me. Nobody's going to give me room. So how did you develop and the practical steps that you took way back when you discovered that, okay, I have this unique ability about myself? What were the practical steps you took being a child that grew up in the US?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing I would say is super important and critical and pivotal to all of my success, my confidence, and my self-esteem is that I believe in God. And I was raised in church. My mother and grandmother are pastors, leaders of Maranatha Deliverance Tabernacle, Maranatha Women of Courage in the US, in many different cities, have been involved in spiritual situations. I was speaking in tongues when I was very young, just involved in spiritual situations and happenings and occurrings and witnessing miracles from a young age, hearing about miracles and seeing manifestations, seeing lack turn into abundance in real ways. That was the first step, right? So I would say anybody that is looking to create more with what they have and get the most out of life must have a foundation of faith and a belief in God, and that God created a universe that's much greater than us, but has provided everything within that universe to make us greater. And I think that just comes from a good spiritual foundation. So that's the first thing, is a good foundation of faith, understanding and knowing God, which I know everybody's not blessed to have that. Everybody doesn't have a family that brings them up in that. And very, very good Christian people that love everybody, non-denominational, just non-judgmental, open and loving to all people. That's rare. So got a great family, got really awesome parents and aunts and uncles and grandparents and everybody that helped raise me, that lives by faith. So that was the first thing. But also when it comes to this, just the self-esteem part, because there's things that we have to deal with, and there's things that we can deal with God. But I want everybody to recognize and understand and realize God gives us everything we need to solve our problems. So if we're not doing it, we can ask God for guidance and change the way we're doing things. But it's not on God to blame when things don't happen that we want to happen. We have to understand ourselves, because we can do anything with our talent. Like, we can take it to any level within the realm of human capacity, and also within the realm of your own belief, right? So that's another thing. You got to have magnificent belief in possibility, and that makes things possible. And that comes from exposure, different things. But the key to, I think, getting more confidence to bring this all together is taking more responsibility, right? So it's a strong foundation of faith. And I took responsibility for who I am, the way I look, the way I feel, and the way I make others feel, the things I want to do, and decided to lean into the things I feel like I could be responsible for, the things I could do well, the things I enjoy. Lean into that. And that is the talent, the things that call you. And if you start to do something else, which I learned as I got older, and this also developed my confidence, I was put in uncomfortable situations and in places where I realized I don't want to continue being in this situation.
Yeah.
Because even if it gets challenging, I don't want the rewards that come with those challenges. Let me choose something where I'm okay to accept the challenges that come with the rewards that I want, and have rewards that are worthy of the challenges. And a lot of the jobs and things and experiences that I had didn't do that. The sports that I didn't play, the reward wasn't worth the challenge. For football, it was. I enjoy the team aspect. I enjoy playing. So I'll sum that up into intuition. And that also goes back to faith, but it's strong faith is taking responsibility for who you are, what you want, and knowing that you have the control and the power to do things given by God. And there's people that choose to use that power at different levels, some even to the level of being conceited and narcissistic. Some people get off the wagon and stop acknowledging that God gave them those abilities, and they have to be humble. However, you can do anything. And I had to just keep listening to positive information that make me and help me to believe I can do anything.
You took responsibility and you acted on the positive information that
and intuition
was available, and intuition. Okay, yeah, you mentioned intuition. So there's very interesting similarities in our story. You mentioned you were involved in some level of, is it the American football or the soccer? It's the American football you're referring to.
American football, Super Bowl. Yep.
Okay,
NFL vibes.
Okay.
Yeah, I played in college though. I played at Georgia Tech. So I played NCAA, played up through high school. But yeah, I really love that sport. I love the team aspect of American football and the leadership and responsibility and accountability that it created for me as a young man. It was great.
Oh, wow. Okay, I used to want to be a footballer as well in my younger days. But as I discovered my core identity, I had to shift, I had to make the shift and stay on this path of being an inspirational, transformational speaker. And that could just be another reason why some people are not creating as much abundance as they ought to be creating, because they haven't really found that particular talent that they ought to be using to create value. Because like I said earlier, a lot of young people in Africa, especially Africa, Nigeria, are trying to be who they are not. That's the first challenge. I don't know if young people in the US also
that's
face
everywhere.
That kind
that's all over the world.
That's
all over the world.
Crisis.
People trying to be something that's not them, trying to live a dream or a vision that someone else implanted into their mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So identity crisis happens all over the world, from what you just said to me. So for you in particular, what gave you the push and motivation to keep going, to keep evolving, to keep taking responsibility in spite of the challenges that were around you at that time? What was your motivation? What was the real push? What gave you the push?
Yeah. Well, I'll say this is knowing that I can have more and seeing that I can create more. It's knowing that I can have more in my life and seeing the possibility. And I'll say this, while I never want to be comparative, it is good to see things that other people have accomplished and be exposed to other people's greatness. Yeah. It's really important to be exposed to things that are better than what you currently have in the physical, in the spiritual. That could be relationships. That could be the ability to just travel and do things. The ability to collect Pokemon cards, whatever it is. I think all of the drive comes from seeing other things that we might want to experience, because we came to this physical existence in life to experience and enjoy things and enjoy feelings, right? I think that's what everybody is really going for, is a feeling, right? So having an understanding that if that's what it is, let me see what it means to create feeling. And if I create feelings when certain things happen, maybe I can learn to create those feelings on my own without or with other things happening. So understanding one's mind, understanding the power of the mind, I think is the answer. And that comes through experimentation. And I like to read. So reading and just good information, spending my time around people that have the results that I think would be nice results to have. Now, I'm never trying to copy somebody's life. I'm never trying to have what they have, but I might enjoy the results that someone else has and want to experience similar results in my own lane. And that's what really helps drive me, is seeing what's possible and knowing what's possible for myself.
Gave, gave you inspiration and motivation to pursue your own greatness, pursue your own continuous self-development towards where you've gotten to today. Right. And that's very key. You were not trying to become them. Rather, you allowed what they had achieved serve as positive energy that propelled your own actions. So, okay, before I go to the other question here, so can you just tell us some of the role models of people that shaped who Bijan is today? American icons that shaped your mindset as a younger version of you. Who are those icons? And maybe they're not Americans, but I'm sure some of them would be.
Yeah, so there's plenty. And I will start with saying rest in peace to Virgil Abloh. He was more recent. I would say I'm going to start by saying rest in peace to Virgil Abloh.
Oh.
Virgil Abloh, the designer. One of the most significant influences on me in my adulthood, from just the perseverance, the manifestation ability, the design thinking, and the doing for others and philanthropy and leading with love at a high level. Super inspiration. And that's like my top artistic, creative, business role model. Now, growing up, I had a lot of different role models and people I aspired to as well. Always looked up to my father, who's successful in his own right and is a great father and just lives on awesome principles of manhood, scholarship, perseverance, uplift, and a lot of other really awesome things. Outside of my dad, there were other heroes like Michael Jordan, sports heroes. I really liked Jim Carrey growing up. I was a fan of Jim Carrey because he had an ability to bring joy, and I really admired that. Jim Carrey is a comedian who's been in a lot of different movies, and he was on a show called In Living Color that I used to watch with my mom growing up. Yeah, that was like on in the 90s when I was growing up. I'm a 90s kid, and just really enjoyed people who could bring joy to others. Keenan and Kel. Always thought I was going to be on a Nickelodeon show. Still might happen. But ability to bring joy and like have fun. So I admire people that did that. I admired my mother and my grandmother, who were always leaders, and saw them doing things for other people and going out of their way to help others, and then still living the life that they want to live and being awesome people and completely fulfilled in their service to others. Like, it's really impressive. So, just like the family, but other superstars and celebrities, and I'll say it's important to have a good family, and people that feel like your family might not be supportive, get around some other friends that treat you like family, that believe in you. It's super important. Is a strong environment, more so than heroes from afar. But a lot of what I saw was on TV growing up, whatever we had access to on television. So as we got older, I started looking at a lot of musicians because I always loved music and grew up in choirs and played saxophones in band, played drums. So I was always really into music and musicians and just the way they were living their life and the way they were portrayed in media. And I liked I remember watching Crisscross. I don't know if anybody remembers Crisscross, but they used to wear like these backwards everything, overalls, jerseys, jeans. And they were young kids who were rappers. They were a duo. So like I always remember moments of like Crisscross getting inspired, seeing the Fresh Prince and Will Smith and getting super inspired. That Will Smith was like, oh, he's on MTV and he's on the Fresh Prince TV show. That's cool. Like, what does that mean? Yes. And let's take Will as an example. Like, he's one of the greatest at what he does. And it's like he's able to win Grammys and make really high quality music that was also fun, and he didn't curse and was family friendly. And also be on TV and in movies. And I just thought that was fascinating. You know, people that are able to be at this level and have this level of exposure, especially back then, in this many things. And that's what we were exposed to, you know. Now, because we have the internet, and as I got older, I was able to get exposed to business leaders and people who are like Steve Jobs, you know, went from really, really loving my iPod because I was listening to music on it, to then seeing what was created with the iPhone, and was just like, yo, this is one person, this Steve Jobs and this company, they're really turning up on technology. And even when I was younger, I really enjoyed, always been into tech and computers. I loved the Apple computers that they had a big round back and they had different colors. They had like neon orange and teal, different colors of the Mac computers that they had in the schools. And we would use those in like first, second, third grade, I remember. And that was really exciting to me. We also had some of the old like IBM and old PCs where you had to put the floppy disk in. And we played Oregon Trail on the floppy disk. I don't know if anybody remembers that. So have lived through all these different times, but you know, hearing Bill Gates' name and just knowing that Bill Gates was successful because he created something that we use every day, that was inspiring to me as a young kid. I didn't really understand it. I didn't really know what it meant. Didn't understand supply chain and subscriptions and software. However, you hear about people through culture, and that's what you aspire to do as a young person. At least I did. I aspired to be someone that other people hear about for something positive in the culture. And that's, I think, what really put the desire to be an artist and an entrepreneur in my heart at a young age.
Powerful story. Thanks for sharing that. Now, your story once again, highlights the principle I've been teaching for over 14 years to young kids in Nigeria here, that one of the ways to discover yourself is to check what resonates with you in other people's success stories. The kind of people that you were pulled to was actually because you also had the natural makeup that was pointing towards that kind of lifestyle. You were attracted to artistic kind of people because there was an artistic seed of greatness inside of you as well. So if you're watching this video right now, or wherever you're watching or listening to this, either on Bijan's podcast, and you are yet to really understand your core identity, or you've not really come to a place of self-discovery or self-mastery, one of the pointers to understanding your core dominant self is to check what inspires you, or who inspires you. What kind of people? Because there are over 7 billion people on the earth. That could create some confusion. Your true self, foundation of success is to discover who you genuinely were created by God to be. And one of the ways, or one of your self-motivation, what are you moved naturally? What are you drawn to? So Bijan, I would like you to tell everyone watching about the Uplift the World Foundation. Tell us about the Uplift the World. From the name, we already know that you are into empowerment, uplifting others. But tell us the nitty-gritty. Why did you choose that name? And then how do you go about uplifting the world around you?
Absolutely. We uplift the world. WUTW. WUTU. The We Uplift the World Foundation started with a sketch in a sketchbook. And it started with me writing notes down after hearing so many successful people talk about the importance of journaling and daily writing. And if you can write what you want and write a plan for it on paper, then it's clear enough for you to go and do it. And just follow the steps and don't quit till you cross the next thing off, however long it takes. Understanding that, put that into practice and said, when I was in a state, this is that state that I explained earlier, 10 plus years ago, seeking purpose, seeking true purpose.
Yeah.
Living a life that was successful to the standards of everyone around me, my parents, my friends. But inside, I knew that I'm going to be doing something else one day. That's what I really want. One day I'm going to be doing what I really love. Like, this is cool, but this is just a stepping stone to the real thing. I said, what is that real thing? Why do I keep putting off the real thing? Why do I keep going from job to job, just trying to make a little bit of time for the real thing, for the thing that really matters to me? Painting at night, up until 2 a.m. painting, and then wake up and try to paint more. Don't even want to go to work, but got to go to work. And it's like, man, this is the only thing I'm doing when I'm not at work. Why don't I make this my work? So just thinking these thoughts, or find a situation where this can be involved in my day-to-day. Thinking these thoughts caused me to write down ideas. Writing those ideas caused me to say, I'm going to start my own organization. It also came from me working at different nonprofits, being a Boys and Girls Club mentor, doing different things, mentor in the church and teaching, coaching youth football. All that. Say, okay, I've done all these different things. I know what matters to me. I know how I want to serve. Let me do this. Let me lean into the things that bring me joy, which was playing my saxophone, drawing, making clothes, painting, teaching people how to do those same things. All these things bring me great joy. And I know people get paid for these things. Just got to figure out the how. So I made We Uplift the World an organization that would allow me to figure out my own how and teach others how to get to where I've figured out how to get to. I'm not saying I have all of life figured out, but I do have a life of purpose, and I created a company that is about purpose and helping other people find that. And we help other people make money as well, because sustainability is real. So find your purpose and make money. That's a cool idea. Let me create something that does that, because I wish I had that when I was growing up. So it started out of knowing that there could be something else outside of what I had growing up. There could be something new. There could be more abundance that could help more people and give people a fast track to purpose. What does that look like?
Wow.
That's We Uplift the World Foundation.
Wow. Brilliant. Brilliant. Wow.
Thank you.
You know, there's a saying that success without a successor is failure, is leadership failure. And a candle does not lose its own light when it lights up other candles around it that were still dark. So
that's a vibe.
That's leadership. That's great leadership that that you've demonstrated and you're still demonstrating. And it's such a crucial need in our generation today to know that you don't need to be as rich as Bill Gates first before you create a platform to transform other people around you. Some people are waiting to be as big as Warren Buffett, as Bill Gates, in Africa as Aliko Dangote, not knowing that it's when you begin to enrich the world around you with your current level of discovery or riches that you even become richer yourself, that you become bigger.
Use what you have to create more abundance. Multiply your talents.
Yeah. So Bijan, what are your dominant talents that you have used to create business? Now we're talking about business, making money, right? What are the talents that you have been able to convert into a business platform? You know, like in Nigeria, there's this man called Alibaba. I don't know if you heard of him.
Alibaba
is, yes.
when I went to Morocco, they was calling me Alibaba. I was walking around, they was like, Alibaba. Yeah, I don't know what it meant. I don't know if it was a compliment or not, but it felt cool. Well, yeah, well, sure. Name's Bijan,
there's a man. Well, he's called the king. He's referred to as the king of comedy in Nigeria, right? He studied law in the university, but he discovered that he had a talent to make people laugh, right? And this was at a time when there was no comedy industry in Nigeria at all. Nobody was being paid. If you tell your parent that I want to, when I get out of school, I'm gonna be a comedian, you get whooped, because that that in itself was a joke. That you mean you're gonna spend your entire life making other people laugh? How would you pay your bills? Right. Making other people laugh?
Right.
You know, but this man, he paid the price and pioneered an entire industry. So today we have hundreds and thousands of young people, young men and women in Nigeria who are stand-up comedians, masters of ceremonies because of this one man. Is a billionaire today in every sense of the word. Another example of a pioneer who turned her talent to business is a woman called Tara Feladro-Toye. I'm referring to Nigerian examples. So I want you to tell me about American examples. So this woman, her talent is focused. It's very funny. Her talent is, makeup, beauty makeover for women, and that prior to that time, there was nobody doing the business of making women look more beautiful, enhancing their beauty with some brush and some colors and what have you. She also had to deviate, had to leave her educational background and pursued her greatness using her natural talent. And it's over 25 years today. She has branches of her business in about 4 or 5 countries around Africa. She has over 22,000 beauty reps that represent her brand, House of Tara. And she's still expanding, So that's why I'm very passionate about teaching people how to discover their core talents. Now, once you find your talent, you have discovered one of the most powerful tools to, yes, fulfilling God's purpose, which is empowering, changing the lives of people, but also generating a lot of cash, generating a lot of money to also change your own life and be able to make positive contributions in the lives of people that matter to you and in the lives of, the community at large. Mm-hmm. So for you, Bijan, what is that, or what are those unique talents that you were able to discover, then develop, and then you've been deploying for those who don't really know what you do?
What a great question.
Wait, before you go into that, and how were you able to monetize your talent?
Yes. Okay. So the first thing is you have to know it's possible for you to make a lot of money doing what you love. You have to know that. You have to know and believe that. Everybody say it with me. It is 100% possible for me to become rich doing exactly what I love to do. Okay. Now that we've created that level of understanding and overstanding, you can do anything and make a lot of money. Anything. Okay. What do you want to do? What do you want to try to do? What do you want to try to become better at? And what is something that you want to become so good at that you're willing to persevere when it gets tough and not give up when you want to give up? What is something you want so much, you want to experience so much that you're willing to not give up? For me, I had to answer that question. And the answer for me was I want absolute freedom, and I want to be able to make people feel good and get paid for how good I can make people feel. What does that look like? There's tons of different ways that can happen. I told you who some of the people were that I looked up to, but it's like, okay, I know there are songs that make me feel good. I want to make songs. Okay. I don't want to just play in band or go to choir practice. I want to go and make songs. My own song from beginning to end. I want to know how to make the entire thing. And I want to make a song that can potentially make someone else feel just 1% better than they feel right now when they hear the song. Because that made me feel good. Music made me feel good. I get turned up to music. I love music. Anybody that knows me or has been around me knows I turn up. I do that. I've always done that. It's something that's not going to change. And I'm going to turn up more as time goes on, more abundantly, actually. So music was one of those things. Communication is one of those things. Okay. So yes, now I do sell music. I do make money with my music in different forms, online, on streaming, licensing, sync licensing, which means getting music for video games, movies, TV shows, things like that. Different sounds for other kind of digital media projects. Also communication. I always love listening to motivational speakers, Tony Robbins, your Eric Thomas, Steve Harvey. Love when people can use words to create energy and emotion. T.D. Jakes, my grandmother, the Apostle Elaine Hassan, other people, lit energy. Okay. That to me, the ability of spoken word to generate uplift, that is something that impacted me again. Helped me get up when I was down, shine light on my darkest days with words, people pouring love out of their heart, using their tongue to uplift. Okay. Speaking love, speaking life. Okay. I said, I want to be a life speaker. I want to be able to talk to people and make them feel better. And I got to figure out how to get paid to do this. So the first thing was like, okay, now that I know I want to do that, I know what I want. I have to first know what I want and decide I'm going to get the talent to get paid in this. Okay. There's a reason I'm starting here. I want people to break this thing down. It's like, what do I even want to be great at? Answer those questions first. That's where a lot of people get misguided, is they're trying to be great at a career that is their parents' dream for them, or their girlfriend's dream for them, or something else, somebody else's dream that they saw that's like, hold on, let me check in with myself and make sure I really want to do this with belief that I can be better than I am today. Don't be like, oh, I don't have any talent, so I'm not going to try. It's like, no, if you love that thing and you're willing to try without giving up and just keep getting better every day, if you're willing to do something every day, focus on that. Looks like Mr. Purpose left the Zoom. Oh, are you still on, Mr. Purpose? Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. All right, bet. Oh, yeah, we got a double going on. Okay, here we go. We back in the game. All right, everything's perfect. Right. So I'm explaining the talents that I use to make money, but I'm also explaining my thinking around those things. Because too many times people would tell you the end result, but not tell you how. How do I get there? Like, I need some instructions. Like, what do I do today? What's something that I can do today, right now, to
Okay.
The life that I love.
Yeah.
You know, what's something I can do right now today to live a life that I love and that brings me absolute fulfillment? Okay, so I decided that art is something that I want to work on no matter how long it takes. I want to work at creating success in this field, art making, because of the way art made me feel. And also communication. And that could come in the form of teaching, of just public speaking generally, events, activations, activating spaces, mentorship, coaching, but using knowledge, energy transfer, and the spoken word to help people create transformation. I said, I want to be paid for creating transformation and transmuting value. So those are things that I have done. I've been paid to speak. I get paid to speak. I get paid to teach. We Uplift the World has a consulting and an education business. So both of those tiers bring in revenue streams. We work as consultants, do Web3 consulting as well, as just education and program and communication consulting, and also education workshops and programs that we do, teaching specific skills, entrepreneurship, different technological skills, how to use the internet and the blockchain together in ways that are productive. We want to kind of be on the cutting edge, but it all came from the things that I'm interested in. I created a company that would allow me to get paid in creative ways, but I had to discover how to do this because they didn't teach any of this in college. I went to college twice. Nobody ever taught me how to make money on my own without sending in a job application or a resume or a cover letter. No one ever talked about that. Ever. Never talked about a business structure, formation, LLC, none of that. It was always preparing oneself to be good enough to get accepted by some other people to do work for them with a limited cap on the amount of income I can ever earn for the rest of my life. And that just wasn't a fit for me. That just didn't make sense to me. And I knew there was more. I witnessed people with other types of freedom in life. And I said, I want that. It's not really people around me that have that kind of freedom, but I believe those people are living their dream. They're living their highest and best, and they're living the life that they want to. But I'm going to pursue something else, something different. And I love adventure, So that's part of the joy of entrepreneurship too for me. And that's another reason I chose to be an entrepreneur and lean into the idea of discovery, meeting new people, communication, and being able to help other people's businesses with my business. That's something that was really exciting to me. And I chose to lean into the things that were exciting to me and that I knew people pay people to do this. Like this, people pay for this stuff. Let me discover and find the ways I can get paid to do what it is that I really, really, really love. It's like if you sit up on your phone scrolling on Instagram or Facebook on a particular topic, looking at cars all day. I love supercars, right? And it's like, let me figure out a way that I can get paid to be in this industry. Let me sell cars. Let me sell accessories. Let me sell wheels or like build a website for other people to buy cars. Like do something that allows me to be immersed in this industry, in this thing that I love. And I just feel like there's too many people that are working in industries that they don't absolutely love, or maybe they have found the industry, but they're making money in a way they don't love. It's like, if you want to do studio photography, but you're just doing weddings, but you really want to do studio photography, it's like, well, stop doing weddings and do studio photography. Don't just say, I'm going to wait till I save up enough money to buy my own studio. No, just like start running on a studio, do studio photography now. You can do a wedding if you want to, but if you really want to do that, do that. Don't box yourself in just because you think, oh, I can make more money doing weddings. But if you don't love weddings, there's somebody else out there that's making more money than you doing weddings because they love it. And you're missing out on being the person that's making the money doing studio sessions in your area because you love that. So go do that. Don't just chase what looks like it might be more money right now, because if you really chase what you love and that you're willing to go hard for and not sleep or forget to eat for, you can make more money than anybody because you'll be the best in your industry because you're in it the most and you love it. And people will feel that and people respond to that love. Respond to that energy. So yeah, tap into what brings you joy. But I tap into selling art. I sell paintings. I have a website. So anybody that's appreciating this conversation, I would love if you could support the website, bijanmachin.com. BIJANMACHEN. There's an art store there. You can buy my art and have it in your home. There's fashion pieces, there's clothing, there's all kind of cool stuff. And there's more on the way. I'm creating more inspirational products, working on a book, things that can go out into the world and bless people's lives for ages and ages to come. But I'm tapping into the things that bring me joy. And then I believe in myself. I believe I can do these things at a high level because I love it so much. So I'm willing to do it every day till the end of time. And I don't feel that way about everything. So tap into what makes you feel that excited. And that will be the key to your abundance.
You were saying that it's very important to do an analysis of what you really want to do. But there was something you said that I want to reiterate, which is you have to find out what is it that I am willing to persevere, remain persistent at, even when the results I desire are yet to be generated. I won't quit or give up. And you were able to help us answer that and reiterate the principle of finding what you love and doing what you love. Loving, finding what you love and then turning what you love into an avenue to add value to people.
Right.
So it's you valuing what you value and selling that value in such a way that it makes a lot of sense. It communicates value to other people. How do you stand out in a crowded? I was asking that, how do you stand out as a talented person in an industry where you want to create abundance? You want to make a statement. You want to make a brand statement. So how do you stand out in such an industry as a pioneer?
Absolutely. Well, I would say the first thing that anybody can do is just be consistent with showing the world who you are and what you do. So people may not like this. And this is more of a do as I say, not do as I do situation right now. But try posting every day. If one is trying to establish themselves as the best at anything or just get more attention on what you're doing, have something to share every day. Now, where do you share? I think you got to look at the platforms that bring you the most value. There's some people that make really great videos, but their primary social platform is Instagram, and it's not YouTube. YouTube is made for videos. Instagram is made for photos. So I would focus on the platform that is made for what you do. If you're a speaker, it's like you can use both, but prioritize one that's primarily for your thing, whatever that is, for your niche. So I think that's a major key. Consistency, showing up in the right places enough, but making sure that you're showing up and using things like hashtags. That's very important. This is just social media strategy. Looking at having a scheduler. So if you don't want to post and get up and do a post every single day, you can use something like a Hootsuite or some different schedulers, social media post schedulers that will allow you to make 30 pieces of content or messaging or videos and then schedule those to post automatically every day. And you can create it one time and have things posting in the future and then create a cycle or schedule for yourself that way. That's definitely effective. Just writing down a list of where you want to be, like where do you want to show up? Because a lot of people say they want to be successful, but they don't know what that looks like for them. So literally just take out a blue pen and a piece of paper and write down, where do I want to show up? What does success look like for me? People got to spend more time talking to themselves and writing the answers down. That's like such a key, because that's when God talks to us. That's when our inner spirit can like be heard, right? So tap into, okay, what's my industry? What's my niche? What do I love to do? Now, what does success look like for me in this niche, in this industry? So you're not wasting time with busy work or chasing the wrong things. You're creating from a place of magnetism instead. So make a list of where you want to be. If it's a magazine you want to be in, if it's a podcast you want to do, if it's a dollar amount you want to make, connect that to how many customers you need to have. Okay, well, who are my customers? How can I help them, more of them, get what they need? And if it's something like art where nobody really needs art, they just love it and buy it because they like it, but it's not necessary for life. I think you got to look at who is already buying this kind of art. You know, a good strategy in real estate is to find the buyer first. If you're doing some kind of real estate transactions or wholesaling or trying to sell a property, find the buyer first, and then there'll be a ton of properties that match that criteria that will show up. But start with the end in mind. That's the real answer, is start with the end in mind and say, okay, if success to me is doing 10 podcasts this month, if success to me is being mentioned in this particular magazine, if success to me is getting hired at this company, let me write that down and make that a goal. If success is getting more customers, okay, let me break down how I get customers now. Let me look at who else is creating a lot of customers in a similar niche. Not have to be the same thing, but similar field, industry. And how can I model a strategy that works to put what people are looking for in front of them, instead of just making things and then not understanding how to get them to the people that want them. We have to understand who wants what I'm making. What's the demand for my particular gift in the marketplace, right? So it's aligning your passion, your purpose, your skill set, your experiences with a demand in the marketplace. What are people paying for? How much money do I want to make? You know, people can charge different prices for their speaking. The price you charge will determine the kind of client you attract. And your belief level and your ability to go after that particular client, present yourself to them and show them that you can provide what they're looking for, your ability to do that will determine the level of success as well as your desires. So set your price and align with your ideal customer or your ideal partner or your ideal buyer, ideal collector, whatever that looks like for you and your niche. What is success? What would it mean to be successful? Okay, to make this dollar amount for a photo shoot, let's say. Okay, well, who's paying $100,000 for one photo shoot? Somebody is. Get on Google and do the research and find out, how can I be in a position where I get paid $100,000 per photo shoot? Who do I need to work with? I need to work with whoever did that, first of all. If I find out who did get paid that much, I'm looking at, can I get an internship at their studio? Can I go work with them? Can I do a podcast with them? Can I talk to that particular individual who did what I want to do? Because maybe one day they were where I am and they can give me advice to help me get to where I want to be. And they probably want to do that because they want to help see other people create success. So I would look at all those factors and just kind of hone in on what it is that you want to create and build a map to get there. Now, there's different strategies to get there on your map. It can be a combination of communicating with different people, reaching out to people, having work that looks like the work that they're already paying for. So if you want to get a brand deal to create content for Biggie Water, well, who's already doing stuff for Biggie Water? What does their current ad look like? Find out who made it. Let's see what their ad budget is. What kind of ideas are they interested in? Look on their website, look on their social media. What are they talking about? Well, let me present an idea to them that aligns with what they're talking about, with their brand DNA, with what they care about. And if they can see a ROI, which is a return on the investment, I can go ahead and get that deal with them and get in the right place. I can get on LinkedIn or other social networks to find out who's who and just get in touch, because I have something that's going to help them achieve their goal, which is to reach more customers with Biggie Water. I think this will help you reach more customers, and I am equipped to deliver on it. Right. So taking that approach, Where are my customers? If you got a cosmetics company, how do I get in front of more women that use the cosmetics, or men, whoever, whatever it is? How do I get in front of the people that are using what I have and are happy to pay for this particular product because they need it or they love it? In my case, I look for people that love abstract art. I look for schools that need art and technology education. And I do both of those things at a high level and will deliver. What's that?
What you're saying in essence is, so what you were saying in essence is to put the value you have generated in front of the people that value your value. That's when you begin to make a lot of money doing what you love. You know, right. Find out what you value and look for the people, look for the platforms, look for the places where the value you are generating is valued at a certain price. You also mentioned setting your price or researching correctly in the market where you want to thrive. How much are people paying for this kind of product or service, and then decide how much you want to earn, create a success roadmap, create strategies. You might need to combine different methods, but the goal and destination remain the same, and maintain a certain level of hunger and desire to get to achieve what you've set out. But something crucial you have reiterated, you have re-echoed tonight, is writing down your goals, writing down. A lot of people don't sit down to write their visions on paper. They just have a wish list, have this big balloon dreams in their head and never put it down paper. We're saying to you on this show, it's night in Nigeria, is morning in the US, is head-to-head conversations that matter. Mr. Purpose and Bijan going head-to-head to encourage you, to empower you, to equip you with the soft skills that you need, the right mindset you need to create abundance. Final question from me to you, Bijan, is what advice do you have for every young person out there that wants to create abundance from their talent? What advice?
My best advice for anybody that wants to create abundance from their talent is to...
Bijan, can you hear me?
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a quick pause and come back. Looks like we had a little connection error.
Piece of advice. So I was asking, what would be your advice to a young person out there who wants to create abundance from their talent? They just want to journey into their own future greatness. What's the advice you would have for them?
My advice to someone that wants to create abundance from their talent is to first have a real vision for what it means for you to live an abundant life. And I like to quote from the Lambo Mach song, Manifestation Season: write it down, make it real. Focus on how good it feels. Believe in yourself and take action. It's manifestation season. So,
amen.
A couple pieces there. You write it down. You make it real means you believe it. You write it so much that you believe you can have it. And write it in detail to the point of like scripting a day. Like, this morning I wake up in this type of property with a beautiful ocean view, and I have absolute freedom. and the type of work that I do is XYZ, and the type of food that I'm eating is organic and delicious. Maybe it's prepared by someone, maybe not. However you want to live, write that lifestyle down and script it for yourself. Everything that you want to have in your life, write it. The more detailed, the faster you'll have it. Now you write that and you read it as often as possible. Now, when you need to rewrite that vision, you rewrite the vision. But every day you either writing it or reading it a lot throughout the day. The best times are before you go to bed and as soon as you wake up. So it's a simple formula. Before you go to bed, write down everything that you wish to create for yourself and what your life would look like if money were not an object. If you didn't have to do things for money, but you could do whatever you wanted to do and money was coming in, what does that look like, right? So write that vision down. And I think that's one important aspect of being able to create abundance, is knowing what abundance looks like for you so you can have a goal and go get it. You break it down into bite-sized steps and you take the steps to get to that goal. That's the simplest way. Now, take care of yourself is another thing. Exercise, eat good food, drink lots of water, get sunshine every day, go for a walk every day outside. Like doing just little things to make sure you're taking care of yourself is a key to creating abundance. Feeling good will create good feelings. Good feelings create great manifestations. Feeling is the key. The better you feel, the better ideas we have. The better food we're eating, the better we feel. The better ideas we have, the better actions we take, the better our results, the quicker we get what we want, because we're doing things on purpose, in purpose. Everything in purpose, on purpose. And then everybody should look at investing in some real estate. Own some commercial real estate that can pay you while you sleep, because everybody needs real estate. So everybody should own some real estate and make beautiful homes and places for other people to live, and also be able to have passive income for yourself and equity.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So I have a quick question for you, Mr. Purpose.
All right.
I want to know, what does abundance mean to you and how do you create it in your day-to-day?
Okay. Abundance for me first is a mindset that helps me see possibilities even in seemingly impossible situations. So it's first a mindset, a belief system that there is more than enough, not just for me, but for many other people. And I've lived with that mindset for years. If you look at the universe, if you look at the earth, you would see that scarcity is actually man-made. Scarcity is a concept that was created by human beings. God, the God of the universe, is the God of abundance. He may start with one, but inside that one thing he created, is the potential to create itself. So I always say to people that you can always count the number of seeds in a fruit, but you can't count the number of fruits in a seed. You can count the number of fruits, of seeds in a fruit, but you can't count the number of fruits in a seed. So never joke with the potential that you carry if you are willing enough to plant the seed of greatness that is within you. So it's first, like I said, it's a mindset that there's more than enough for me and others. So I don't compete in an unhealthy way with other people. Rather, I collaborate. I know that if I help you get ahead, I'm also getting ahead myself. So the new competition is collaboration. So abundance, a mindset, is a belief system, and it helps me see how I can make a lasting contribution to everyone I come in contact with. So that's the mindset of abundance that I have lived with. And I think that's why we connect, or we connected when we met. And we're having this conversation tonight. So I hope I answered your question.
Absolutely. That was 100% it. I'm very grateful for you. I really appreciate you making the time to have this conversation, and I believe it blessed people's lives. Definitely blessed my life. And I'm ready to have another one, but I think there's a lot of notes here for people to just take and marinate on. It's a lot about clarity. You know, a lot of abundance is about just first belief that there can be more and different, and knowing that it's true. There's not a lack of water. There may be people controlling the water, but there's not a lack of it. You know, there's not a lack of anything, of air, of money, of good health. It's all here in abundance. So we have to have that understanding and that belief, and then understand, what does it mean for me to feel abundant all the time? Where should I be living? What should I be doing? What kind of people and friends do I need to have in my life so that I'm feeling abundant at all times? Write that down and then take little steps to go create that. When it comes to making money from your talent, identify what your talent is. What am I really great at? What if people told you that you're really good at? What am I really great at? What am I the best at? What's the work that feels the best? What do people really love that I do? Okay, let me just hone in on that for a year and just do that only with the clients or the customers or the people that can pay me what I believe it's worth, or double.
Yeah.
And let me go find those people that need my services and present it to them at a high level and let them know I can deliver, and charge your price. Always got to charge your price. It's my advice to everybody. Charge your price. If people aren't paying it, you need to talk to more people and increase the quality of your work. If you do both of those things, you will always be able to get your price. Increase the quality of your work and talk to more people. And that could be online. That could mean posting 3 times a day instead of once a day, showing process videos of your work, customer testimonials, showing yourself in action. Show yourself doing the thing you want to get paid to do on social media. The more you show yourself doing it, the more people will assume that you're doing it and getting paid to do it. And then that will become true.
Perception, creating a perception that you are professional and an exceptional person.
Perception is reality. And be authentic with that. Be that. And when you really are, you never run out of content. You're Mr. Purpose. You could talk about purpose all day.
Yeah.
You're never going to run out of things to talk about when it comes to helping people achieve their purpose. This is an ongoing quest and a lifelong journey. We could talk about this forever, right?
Yeah.
And that's your thing. So you've honed in on that niche, and you're one of the best in the world at helping people identify and pull that out of them, their God-given gifts and purpose, and creating conversations that allow people to discover those things and amplify what that purpose is, so everything can be in purpose, on purpose. So yeah, I'm grateful. I hope everybody takes the tips that we talked about, and pray for yourself, pray for us. We're all on a journey. We're working on getting better and implementing these tips every single day as well, more abundantly. And for me, I just want to create more so I can give more. That's what the We Uplift the World Foundation is all about. That's what my art is all about. It's about abundance. It's about the energy of music and vibration that's positive. It can get us moving. So I want to share that with as many people as possible. Make sure y'all visit WeUpliftTheWorld.com. Make sure you visit BijanMachin.com. Make sure you follow Mr. Purpose on Instagram and all his channels. And Mr. Purpose, you have some books out, right? Can we talk about where people can find your books? And did you say you got another book coming out? Like, tell us where to find what you got and what you got coming up. Like,
all right, anyone listening,
tap into
watching
everything
this,
that you have.
Yeah, you can get my first book. I wrote that book in 2009. It's titled "Finding Your Career Path." It's not the regular kind of book on career. I wrote extensively in practical terms. Chapter 1, the first question is, have you found you? That there is a career inside of you. Your future is not ahead of you, it's inside of you. And anyone that you admire today doing any great stuff in any path, if you check, you will find out that they're doing something they are naturally good at, not something they studied from one school or one college. They may have gotten an education on that path, but they were just getting an education being themselves. Educating your talent will position you as an authority in a few years, more than someone who just jumped into that industry primarily because they want to make some money, because other people have made some money in that industry. So they now see the money and they want to jump in, but they don't have the natural talent for it. They don't have natural passion for it. They don't have a clue of what's going on. They're just interested in the money. You know the saying that the grass looks greener on the other side. So people jump from where they are planted to where they see the grass looking greener, not knowing that the grass only looks greener on the side that it's being watered. Somebody is doing the work for it. So I shared practical steps in that book where how you can get paid for what you were made to do, how you can get paid for what you were made to do. So a lot of practical insights. It's on Amazon. Just type in Finding Your Career Path and you would find that book. It's a green cover. Then the second book is 10 Laws of Self-Discovery. Some of the things that Bijan shared tonight were already captured in that book, where you see the 10 laws. And something good about laws are not respecter of your location. So whether you are in the US or in Nigeria, whether you're in Alaska, Madagascar, or America, if you find the laws of success and you are consistent, you're persistent in doing the things that will bring your own success to you where you are, success is what you will create. So I shared 10 of the laws. There are many, but I capture like 10 of the most important laws for self-discovery so that you can discover the real, authentic you and then manifest abundance from who you are. Because in life, you don't get what you want, you get what you are. So those books are there. I'm working on a new one, Why Am I So Different? The release date will be sometime in March for people to be able to buy. So once those books are out, they will be on Amazon. Just type in 10 Laws of Self-Discovery by Mr. Purpose, or just type my real name, Noah AfeOluwape. But just, you can send me a DM on my Instagram handle. I will send you the link on how to purchase it, the ebook version and the paperback. Thanks for asking about that, Bijan.
Absolutely, that's
everyone.
Make
sure you go follow Bijan on Instagram. Bijan at Bijan
Machin
at Bijan Machin on Instagram, and go to the website WeUpliftTheWorld.com and any other social media handle that you say this great man. Just jump on every product, on every merchandise that is being created to help you manifest abundance. Any last words from you, Bijan, tonight?
Well, I just want to say thank you. I want to tell everybody, buy more art, buy more books, and do something to uplift the world more abundantly, because that's what we're all here for. Let's help each other on this journey. Do more creative things that bring your heart joy, because you'll create more joy for others in living your purpose. So thank you, Mr. Purpose, for having me today. And thank you for joining me today. We did a couple pieces of content on a couple different platforms, and we had one really powerful conversation that's going to change and transform lives. So I'm very grateful that God brought us together and allowed us to do our thing in purpose, on purpose.
Yeah.
This is an abundance alert.
Purpose. Oh, yeah. So everybody, exceed as you proceed. Thank you so much, Bijan. Look forward to doing this again very soon with you. And sometime we'll do this in person by God's grace.
Amen. Blessings abundantly. Thank you all.
Amen. Bye for now.